AITA for telling my boyfriend he needs to move? For context, I 30F have been dating my boyfriend 31M going on a year. When we first met, he let me know that he is divorced with 3 children, 6M, 4F, and a stepson, 8M, that he considers his son. He also let me know his situation was unique and he was okay if I didn't want to continue dating. Him and his ex-wife are great friends. They simple got married too young and realized they were different people. Neither wanted to split custody, so they turned their home into a duplex. That way they could both see the kids every day, and if his son wanted to see him he could just come over. I cannot have children, and he explained he would not have more. Although it was a unique situation, he's a great guy, so I kept it going. Now on to a year, he still is a great guy and I love him. However, I can't help but feel like I'm on the side of the real family. His ex still comes to all the holidays. The kids knock and can come in whenever. One of the kids is not really even his but still has open access to him. I think now that we're serious, things need to change. I suggested he moves so that we can maintain a life outside of the family, and he can move on. Well, he blew up and called me an aw for suggesting it. He said he isn't and never will be a weekend dad. But I'm just trying to look out for us and start our family. My sister agrees I'm the aw since he was up front, but am I really? Would having him move out really be an aw thing? I accept my judgment. I have a lot of thinking to do. I want to be clear, I meant nothing towards his stepson. Was just trying to show the bond he has. Although you all think I'm not a great person, I want to thank you all. I am not going to reply anymore, but you've made me understand that this relationship has turned me into something I'm not, and I need to end it. I really will reflect on all of your comments. As a step-parent YTA, I wish Hubs had that kind of positive relationship with his ex. They get A++. You knew and he was very upfront. You decide it was acceptable. His children, all of them, are important. If things progressed, are you allowed to ask they knock on your bathroom door BC privacy? Absolutely. Can you occasionally ask for a romantic night away as a couple? Of course. Not unrealistic. Can you ask the kids to wipe their feet? Totally reasonable. Maybe ask for a romantic dinner at home without the kids interrupting once in a while? Sure. Asking to move away from children when you knew it from the beginning? No. These children are important. You will be a working part of a bigger unit. This could be an amazing thing with a whole new amazing family. You may not want the same things. He shouldn't have to not be a good father BC of what you don't like. YTA, you want him to move on from his kids? You're upset your BF and his ex have a healthy relationship and he still raises his children. Plus stepchild? The problem in the equation seems to be your insecurities tbh. Him and his ex are over. But that doesn't change their responsibilities when raising the children as co-parents. You may come second to those ideals. But didn't you know that going into a relationship with a man who has children, isn't that a good, honorable thing? The housing situation may be unique. But doesn't that greatly simplify things? Is there some beef between you and his ex? According to what is written here, all things seem to be mutual and respectful. I mean, it's been a year. What has changed? YTA. His kids are already his family. And if you want to be a part of it, then you're gonna have to accept the kids. From the way it sounds, you didn't ask him to move in with you. You asked him to move away from his kids. Info. What do you mean by outside the family? Are you suggesting that he should cut contact with his kids? I'm very confused. YTA. The truth is you're only his GF of a year. He was upfront about everything and you knew full well what you were getting into. YTA, especially for the comment about one of the kids not being really his kid. He made it clear a year ago that his stepchild is his kid, regardless of biological link. Also not sure why you keep putting quotation marks around family, as though his kids aren't his family. I mean, you're just his girlfriend of 1 year. And you expect to be more family than his kids. I don't think your boyfriend needs to make a choice between you or his family. These relationships shouldn't be mutually exclusive. I get that over time. His attention to his family began to bother you. But he was fully upfront about his expectations when you started this relationship. Your boyfriend sounds like a great guy and a great dad. Don't be in awe and try to change him. If this arrangement doesn't work for you, just end the relationship and move on. YTA. It doesn't matter what his reasoning is. It doesn't matter how wacky it sounds to you. He was upfront with you about his situation and you agreed with it at the time. I suppose it would be understandable if this were just a case of, I underestimated how difficult the arrangement would be for me. So I shared my feelings with him but told him it was ultimately his decision. But there are a lot of little red flags in your post that make me think you were quite a bit more forceful, manipulative than that. 1. The title not AITA for asking my boyfriend if he would consider moving, but telling him he needs to move. 2. Although it was a unique situation, he was a great guy so I kept it going. Nothing about you being okay with the living situation. Just that he's a great guy. Meaning that either you put off thinking about it because you liked him, or you thought you could get him to change his mind later. 3. The fact that 2/3 of your paragraph about not being part of his real family isn't even about the ex. It's about the kids. The kids should always come first. 4. Referring to his stepson as not really even his. That's just disgusting. His living situation may be unique, but you don't sound very unique at all. You want your partner who already has kids to put you before his children. Sadly, this is an all too common attitude. I feel like YTA here. You knew his situation going into this. It works for them, so there's no reason to move. You feeling outside the family is a you issue. It doesn't mean you need to separate him from his kids. From reading your comment, you feel outside the family because you don't like their parenting arrangements. Well, guess what? He was parenting these kids long before you came into his life, and he'll still be parenting them after you leave. It actually sounds like they have an amazing arrangement, and it certainly wouldn't stop you having a life together if he didn't move. YTA. That's his family. You're not starting a family with him. You're joining one. If that doesn't work for you, it's time for you to move on. YTA. You can't have kids and he doesn't want more. Start what family? This is the family. Are you in or are you out? One of the kids is not really even his. YTA. Wow. YTA for not seeing that he's not gonna change. Honestly, you better be ready to either move into that duplex with him or on a house in that street. 'Cause he is not moving from there. Sorry to say, but if you want to be with him, you're gonna have to join that family, not the other way around. YTA. He was clear right at the start about his situation. He's doing the right thing by his kids. Having that amount of access is amazing. Really good for the children. You have no right whatsoever to interfere in something that was working so well. Also, referring to one of the children as not really his. Really? Totally uncalled for. You will always come second to his kids. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. You feel like they still operate as a family because they are a family. If you're not okay with that, then you need a partner who doesn't have kids already, doesn't want them in their life actively. Honestly, why would he ever prioritize you over his kids? Op question? Why did you agree to continue to date him if you knew you were going to be annoyed with him having access to his kids every day? So many divorced parents barely get to see their kids. So of course he's going to want to be involved every day. It's no different to him basically having full custody. YTA, because you knew what you were signing up for when you agreed to date him, and also blood isn't the only thing that makes family. He's clearly raised that stepson like his own and sees him like his own even if you don't. As a weekend dad, I'd give anything to have what he has. His kids are always there and he gets to experience everything with them. I have to say YTA on this one. He not only made it clear early on, but he is also lucky to have this situation. You have to figure out if you can handle it or not. If not, then move on and find someone else that can give you what you need. It would be a little different if he didn't tell you up front, but he did, and did it before it got real serious. You've had plenty of time. Make a decision and stick with it. Just please don't try to break up his relationship with his kids or take away what he has right now. Many dads wish they had this set up. I'm sorry, but you are the Your BF was upfront about what he wanted and about the fact his children were a priority. They basically live with him. It's as much his home as it's their basically. So they are allowed to come and go whenever they want. Point is, from your post it seems like he explained to you everything beforehand and you agree. Probably without understanding fully what you were accepting. His children are a part of his life and always will. Moving on doesn't include abandoning them or being less of a father to them. YTA. This is what works for him and his family. He was upfront about it. Upfront about not wanting to change it. And upfront about the fact he knew many people would not be okay with it. But in that case, those people were not for him. You decided you were okay with it. It's okay to change your mind and decide that actually you're not feeling this setup the way you thought you would. But you shouldn't expect him to change his position. The way that you're saying, now that we're serious, and now that we've been together for a year. It feels like you always thought this was something you just needed to tolerate for a bit before you could throw your weight around and demand a different setup. But he was always very clear that he would not be changing. His kids come first. And he's not interested in any setup that fundamentally changes how things work now. Yes, there are tons of other ways to do things. But this is what he wants and this is what works for his family. The only thing you can decide is whether this works for you. If it doesn't, then like he was clear about when you first started dating, he's probably not the guy for you. YTA. If you're dating someone with children and your issue is the presence of children, you're dating the wrong person. And if you have the nerve to suggest his stepson isn't really his kid, you're the one who needs to go.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.